So we've heard, it's trite, but it's true. The pandemic has changed everything, right? And as we discussed, one of you mentioned it's a great experiment with remote work. So I would like if you could both speak to that. What, if any, do you think there's a change perhaps in the playing field as the result of so many people working from home? Either one of you can jump in. Go right ahead.
Well, I mean, when I first started at Google, and I asked about whether I'd be able to do any work from home, they told me absolutely not, because I was working on IP, intellectual property, and Google is very concerned about their IP, as you probably would be aware. But when the pandemic hit in March of last year, they couldn't get equipment to my house fast enough so that I could keep working because we were in lockdown. Mm-hmm. And I think since the pandemic has been so ongoing, companies have realized that remote work is not the threat or the boogeyman that they thought it was, that it's not evil. And I think it opens up more opportunities for women because it helps with that work-life balance, when you can work from home. And you save time because you're not sitting in traffic, obviously. So all the benefits of working from home, I think, work even better for women, and help encourage them to stay in their careers and be productive.
I definitely hope so. And I'm going to be curious, 6 months from now, we're going to regroup or a year even and see if that has made a difference, or it might take longer for that to map out. But Lauren, what are your thoughts about that? And how has it worked for you?
Sure. Yeah, I'll piggyback off Elise on that. In product design consulting, it's very collaborative. We do a lot of brainstorming. We do a lot of work with clients. And so I think before the pandemic, the thought was, we're probably remote work doesn't work. There's no way to make it happen. But I think because we were forced to, it actually works really well. We have tools to, collaborate. You don't get quite the same brain trust as being in the same office all the time, but it's better. It's doable. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's definitely doable, and you can still be very effective. So I think work is never going to look quite the same as it used to. Business travel is never going to be what it was. At least I hope, because sometimes you just don't need to get on a plane for, 4-hour meeting that you can have virtually.